It's the B&M Baked Podcast, and we are here at ComiCON outside the Webster Bank Arena right now. We're here with the S.H.I.E.L.D. truck, a truck from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's so cool. Inside is awesome. Inside is even more awesome stuff. Stay tuned. We're going to have tons of cool interviews, some cool vehicles you're going to see. You're going to be really surprised about some of the stuff you're going to see on today's show. So stay tuned for more here on the B&M Baked Podcast. And we're back here in the B&M Baked Podcast at ComiCON. The continuation of my 80s childhood is going on here. We were just at Catt, and now we've found the guys from V, the Connecticut V, are here. So tell us a bit about how you guys got, well, I know how you got into V, but how did you guys decide to start your own V?
Well, he already knew, Charles already knew a lot of people that were also V fans and had this idea in his head of doing the costumes from it. When we met, he found out that I liked V also, and we really started talking about it.
She makes all of our costumes too. Everything we're wearing.
I'm a costumer, and I've been of various kinds of costumes, and we started getting to it and saying, yeah, we could do this.
Yeah.
And
the props, everything you see, we make. Helmets, pistols,
yeah,
the Jeep cannon, everything. We all do.
The glasses are one of the few things that we bought off the shelf.
Yeah.
And the hats, they're just like in the show. The coveralls are off the shelf. We dye them.
Yeah.
Everything is made exact. We have a lot of screen-used uniforms that we can base all our patterns and stuff off of.
And all of our, all the patches and all the designs are based right off and patterned right off of the screen.
Yeah, no, it looks like you really just walked off the TV screen. So, yeah, so I was like,
it's always
I was like, the V guys are right there. Look out, watch out. They're gonna bring you in. So, how long have you guys been fans of it though? Do you guys watch it when it first came out, or did you catch it afterwards?
Yeah. I watched it when it first came out. I was 12 at the time, and I remember watching the miniseries with my parents, and I grew up as a sci-fi kid with my dad being a huge sci-fi fan, and it just resonated, and the story is just so timeless of what do you do in a situation where you are about to be taken over by
alien race, or anybody.
And
anybody.
Or anybody. It's like when somebody comes in power and starts taking over, do you follow them because you want the power, or because you're afraid, or do you stand up to them and fight back?
And we wanted to costume stuff that hadn't been done 8 million times before.
That too.
Star Wars is everywhere. GI, you see it everywhere. We started doing this, and people were like you. It's like V, I haven't seen.
Yeah.
And you hit that little nostalgia.
Yeah, I've seen you guys at other cons.
It's iconic. When you see the shot troopers or whatever.
I totally forgot it was a miniseries. It's been so long. It was like a one-shot thing, and then they decided to make it. It was so popular.
Battle was like the 3 nights with the baby being born. And, it was good stuff.
Oh, like I was. Yeah. Like I was saying before we did the interview, that when that baby was born, I screamed bloody murder. And my mom was like, "What are you watching?" And I'm like, "It's V. Stop watching that if it's gonna." Yeah. Mom's like, "Stop watching it if you're gonna be screaming in the house in the middle of the night." It's like, "But I can't. It's so good."
And then, of course, with the series, it got a little cheesier. There was lack of money, but there's still some cool stuff in there. And the characters, I think, the actors are also good, and so you bought into it.
And they loved it so much, you could tell that they were enjoying themselves, and that they were just having fun. I mean, you could see Mark Singer, flinging himself off of roofs.
I know. And he did all his own stunts.
He did all his own stunts, and it was just amazing. They all just seemed to enjoy it so much.
It's not only that, but you have the full Jeep here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So is this
our latest project
fully operational Jeep, or is it just? Oh, wow. Yeah. The cops must have loved you this morning. Oh, okay.
We weren't going to do that down.
Drive down 95 with that. That'd be awesome.
Oh, God, no.
I would have loved to have seen that video.
Yeah. Actually, we have a little video of me driving it on the highway because Dave was following me and he pulled up next to me and I'm like,
Full uniform?
No, I didn't my uniform.
Oh, that'd be even better.
I don't want to attract too much attention. Can you imagine? I don't even know what would happen if we drove it down the street.
If you see something, say something, things
I just saw a guy in a white Jeep with a big gun on it. I think there's trouble brewing.
I think there's something going on. V is actually happening.
Oh my God, they're taking over.
I remember the TV show from years ago.
I was around when Orson Welles took over the world. It's like War of the Worlds all over again.
So how long did it take to do not the Jeep itself
is
easy.
We bought it. So we had to paint it, we stripped it down, we had a friend of ours, everyone contributed Howie was our main captain behind building the cannon. He's up there behind there now. And we've been working on it all summer off and on. Once every couple Saturdays and having a good old time. And we think it came out great,
Yeah,
watching
the
old show
poster in the background. I just saw the poster. Yeah, that's
cool. Looking at low-res screen caps from a 35-year-old TV show. It's not like Star Wars. Everything's high-res Blu-ray and every detail is known. No, we're winging it.
Yeah. It came out awesome.
We
It looks.
We had a good time making it, and we love it, and we do. We think it's awesome. And
it's like it drove off this show almost. It's crazy.
And getting it in here, when Eric, the organizer, I said, if we get the Jeep done, can we get it at the con? He's like, you bet your ass we can.
Yeah.
So, it's like, all right,
you better bring it.
To get it done.
We are doing this.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
To be here with it, we're just so thrilled, and we're excited and happy to share it.
So if someone wanted to find out where V's going to be next, where would they go? If they're the fleet, where would they find out where it is?
We'll be at RetroCon in Pennsylvania, September 27th-ish, something like that.
Yeah, the end of September.
End of September.
We have our Facebook page.
Yeah, we do have our Facebook page. We'll also be at Rhode Island ComiCON. And
getting a call from the mothership.
Yeah, exactly.
Apparently, yeah. But you can always find us on Facebook. We're facebook.com/CT-Visitors.
We'll give you one of our cards.
Yeah,
Definitely, yeah.
Keep in and say hello to us.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And we've got a we apparently inspired other people elsewhere in the country, and even
we've started a whole worldwide group. We have other motherships and other
we now have the
states.
visitor fleet.
Yeah, because people were seeing what we were doing and they wanted to be part of it, which is great.
Yeah,
we're like, really?
Yeah.
Okay, you can have a
V's
California
alive again,
Yeah. You like V too? All right, cool, sweet.
We become good friends with a man named Matt out in California, and he's like, can I start the California Mothership? We're like, sure.
Go ahead.
And it's just grown from there.
And a lot of these guys are also 501st who are getting sort of tired of that scene and looking for something fresh and new, and it's the same thing. It's like, oh my God, you guys are awesome. You seem like everyone, it's
I don't have to sweat in a big, huge suit all day. People can see my face. I can breathe. I can breathe. I don't have to breathe through a hose.
Yeah, exactly.
And some of them are so enthusiastic.
Yeah.
We have a guy actually also out in California. He's already got the contact lenses.
Wow.
And we've.
And she's got commissions lined up, because everyone wants her to make their suits. So.
I've been sewing as much as I can.
So everyone in our group is actually wearing her stuff because nobody else makes them. This So it's cool. It's cool.
Stop it! You're making me blush.
That wasn't our intention.
Stop it! Stop it!
But it's great seeing we have messages from people like, oh, we're gonna try and do the prosthetics. What do you think if we do this and this? And just people are just coming up with ideas that they want to do stuff to add to the experience at these cons and stuff. Encouraging it wholeheartedly. Yeah,
it's very cool. Thanks for giving us the time.
Oh, thank you so
a lot of people when stopping by as we're sitting here, I can see people are trying to take pictures over our shoulders, so we got to be away. But thank you. We'll be back with more here in the Baked Podcast in just a bit. And we're back here in the B&M Baked Podcast at ComiCON in Bridgeport, Connecticut. We've run into the guys from TJ Comics. So tell us a bit about TJ Comics, how it all got started.
It's small press, creator-owned stuff, more or less, self-published, whatever. And basically, it's the idea is to tell good stories, quality stories. Everything we have is, you open it up, it's top-line stuff. It's very much. It's indie stuff, but it doesn't fit the indie mold. People look at the books and be surprised at the quality of it, and that's what we pride ourselves on. Is good creator-owned small press books.
Alrighty, so you got a couple books here on the table. Which are the newest ones you guys got out, and what are the
newest book actually is Patriot One, and this is actually a successful Kickstarter that just finished a couple weeks ago, I think it was.
Wow.
So it's actually the print run. It's a full graphic novel, 202 pages. It's the book I've been working on for years and years and years. It's like Captain America meets Jack Bauer meets Tom Clancy type stuff. So it's like a military spy novel. There's Steel Creek, which is Eastwood inspired Western. It's it started out as a webcomic a couple years ago, kind of transitioned into being the print book, everything like that. All right. There's Mac Turner, which is one of our original titles, where it's kind of tongue-in-cheek zombie type wacky nonsense. The Argonauts is by Keith Dallas, who's actually not over here at the moment, but it's kind of time-traveling superheroes. It's one of our original titles as well. All come together in the present day to stop an alien invasion. Keith is also, he's the editor of Patriot One. Okay. And Keith actually was just nominated for Harvey Award for the American Comic Book Chronicles from Tomorrow's Publishing.
Oh, nice.
So, and this is Alex and his book.
To round it off, we have Sarah Fair in the House at the End of the World, which is our first children's book. It's a picture book. Sold it to a bunch of different age groups.
It's like a Tim Burton movie.
Yeah, kind of Tim Burton. All right, it's kind of like a Tim Burton movie. But yeah, it kind of just shows the breadth of the stuff that we have at TJ Comics. We have stuff for kids, we have stuff for grown-ups, and everything in between. So in this, fully illustrated by Abigail Larson. Not exactly the traditional comic book, more kids picture book. Yeah. So, yeah.
So if people want to get any of this stuff, where would they go?
You can go to, right now you can go to tjcomics.com. The site's kind of in the middle of redesign. We, with Patriot One, I kind of wanted to redo the logo and rebrand it a little bit and kind of new identity, basically. So everything's on tjcomics.com. Patriot One will actually be on Amazon at some point, as soon as I figure out the fulfillment, because that's always fun. And everything else you can pretty much find on there, and Comixology and Drive Thru Comics, all the digital places. It's all available digitally. So.
Alrighty, well, check out tjcomics.com. If you're looking for something to read, I'm pretty sure these guys have it, because their table covers the board of all the things you can take out. So be back with more here in the Baked Podcast in just a bit. It's the B&M Baked Podcast, and we're here with the Doctor Who TARDISes that Brian's company, your company?
Hangar 18 Props.
Hangar 18 Props, built these beautiful TARDISes, and there's more stuff that they're building that he was talking to me about before the interview started, and my head just kept blowing up explosively. So tell us how you got involved in prop making.
I've actually been doing it. I started doing haunted houses, kind of like R.J. Hattie and Rory Woolley from Face Off, which we all know each other. But I started doing haunted houses when I was a kid, and then went into motion picture work a little bit later on down in South Florida, which is we're from North Florida. Okay. And I've been doing it ever since.
All right, so you got the TARDISes you were talking, you of course, but you said you got more stuff coming up that you're finishing building now. Do you want to tell us what about those?
Sure. We have a full-scale Millennium Falcon cockpit.
Oh my God.
Specifically from Empire Strikes Back. We're doing that one. That'll be premiering at a convention in Texas, San Antonio ComiCONN.
Oh, man.
And then we have a full-scale Stargate, 72-foot in circumference, 15-foot inside diameter. That'll be premiering at a convention called Geekonomicon in Biloxi in December.
Wow, so TARDISes, they're just a box, but how long did it take to actually make the TARDISes full scale, everything, the whole 9 yards?
The very first one that we built took about 3 months because we hadn't built a TARDIS before. We really didn't know what we were doing. Now, like the David Tennant over here, I've actually got down to about 72 hours worth of woodwork, and I can do that by myself. And the painting and weathering of it take about a week.
All right, and then you got the other one here. There's another one.
Same thing.
Same one?
Actually, the War Doctor and the David Tennant are the same prop. They just painted them. There was a Mark 1 and a Mark 2, and they just had two different paint jobs, but it's exactly the same TARDIS.
All right, so what other stuff do you guys got besides the other things you got going on? Any other stuff you guys have made?
We do props for all different things, for motion pictures and things like that. We've got a film that's coming up next year that I can't really get into right now, but because of NDAs. We do, as I said, still the haunted houses. We do contract work all over the place. We make vape mods for people and all sorts of different things. It's not just TARDISes.
Okay. So if people want more information about you guys, where would they go and find out about it?
They can go to hangar18props.com, or they can just look us up on Facebook.
Alrighty, pretty sweet. These TARDISes are very awesome, but I'm almost willing to say I'm going to buy a ticket to San Antonio now, and I want to see this Millennium Falcon. I'm very excited about it. So thank you for taking the time. We appreciate it, and we'll be back with more here in the Baked Podcast in just a bit. We're back here in the B&M Baked Podcast, and we have found the thing that Brian's been trying to get to happen for years here on the podcast. We have met Bob Camp. Mr. Camp, thanks for taking your time here to talk to us about... All right, Bob, thanks for giving us the time to talk. Brian, he said call him Bob. So tell us about how Ren and Stimpy came about.
You know what? It was part of another show concept that John had been pitching to networks, and minor characters in that concept were Ren and Stimpy. And they said, oh, we like the dog and the cat, make a show about that. So that's what we did. We made a show about a stupid dog and an even stupider cat.
So it's lasted all this time. People still love it. I know Brian talks about it constantly. I also enjoy it as well. Of course, my favorite part is Log. I love Log.
It's funny, too, because Log was just sort of filler. Like we had a space to fill in the slot, where one cartoon came up short. Yes. So we just made Log because it was just a stupid kind of a quick thing.
And then, like, people come up to you and just start singing the Log too.
Yeah, all the time. I mean, I stop people and make them sing it, but it's funny because everybody remembers it, and it was such a dumb throwaway thing. I mean, I ripped off the character. We got one out here. Yeah, I ripped off. This is Marky Mapo from the Mapo cereals commercials, and we ripped off the Slinky song. I wrote the song. Yeah. So yeah. So if Whammo wants to sue me, good luck.
Yeah. Go for it. I don't care. So, Ren and Stimpy, is there going to be more Ren and Stimpy? Or is there Ren?
Okay. I really don't think so. I mean, nobody's beating down my door to do Ren and Stimpy. I think it ran its course, and I think the last ones, I didn't have anything to do with us, the adult party ones. Yeah. I think it turned a lot of people off to it. Yeah. They were not the fans, but the people making them. Yeah. So, oh well, and it wouldn't be the same anyway, because all the people who worked on it are gone. They're doing other stuff now, so it wouldn't be the same. People wouldn't like it. I'd love to do it though. It would be cool.
But in comic book form, is there still? I mean, how did the comic book come? The comic book came after the show, or the show was the comic book?
Same time, yeah. It came as soon as they realized the show was a hit. They started doing a comic. Yeah, yeah.
So, if anyone wanted to know where you're going to be or anything more about what you're doing, is there anywhere they could check that out?
You can check me out on Facebook. I'm usually tell what's going on or what's happening. They want to follow me and see what's there. And I also have a Facebook page called Bob Lab, which is the name of my company. So they can look at Bob Lab, check that out.
And what does that do? What do they do? Are you doing the Bob Lab?
It's just my company, and I'm doing projects and selling shows and stuff like that.
Oh, neat. So it's pretty cool. Bob Camp, Ren and Stimpy, thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it. Yeah. So thank you for giving us the time, and we'll be back with more here in the B&M Baked Podcast in just a bit. It's the B&M Baked Podcast, and we're here with the greatest American hero, William Katt. Mr. Katt, I got to say, you were like one of my childhood heroes growing up.
Oh, thanks.
Your show was awesome. I loved it. I watched it every time it was on. Reruns the whole time. Before when it was original,
so what you're
and then the reruns.
Is you wasted a lot of time watching me.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
So I'm the one to blame. I'm sorry, Mom and Dad.
No, they gave up a long time ago. Don't worry about it. But what was it like when you first got the show? And then how did that whole thing happen? Well, I mean, audition, of course, but...
I was doing a play in New York. I was doing a play with Diana Wiest and a bunch of folks from the Guthrie. We were at the Phoenix Repertory Theater doing a play called Bonjour la Bonjour, a Michel Tremblay play. And I got the script from Steve Cannell, who his company sent it to my agent, Michael Black, at the time. And I read it, and I really thought it was a very funny script. So he asked if he could fly out, which he did. He flew out to New York. We had dinner one night after the show, and I agreed to do it. And it was one of those situations that, it changed my life.
Yeah.
And I had no idea the impact it was going to have. Here we are 30-some years later talking about Greatest American Hero, those red jammies, and that song.
That song, I was saying
kind of became indelibly etched in pop culture.
I could sing the whole song right now. I won't because it'd be really weird.
Please don't.
People probably do it all the time to you, I know. But not only were you a Greatest American Hero, you're also in Carrie, which is one of my favorite movies. Oh, yeah. I love the Stephen King movies. So
anything that called for curly blonde hair, that's what
they
gave it to me.
William, we'll get him in here. Yeah. So what was that like doing the full feature film, Carrie,
Well, that was
the
great.
whole thing.
The film was great. I had no idea it was going to do anything, you know. But we did know that Brian De Palma was like about to break out because he hadn't really done anything that had broken at the time, and that was his. It was kind of his watershed moment, you know. It became, you know, part of, again, pop culture at the time, you know.
So you're also in House, which is one of Brian's favorite movies. He was like, "Oh my gosh, House! I haven't seen it in forever."
A great film.
Yes.
That really was. All the credit goes to Steve Miner, who really. It was his sense of humor and his sense of absurdity that really made that film and gave it its, you know, its gravitas. You know.
So if people are looking for William Katt now, I mean, besides right here at the con, where else would they? Is there other places they could get William Katt information?
I have a Facebook page that's run by a gal, Marcy Bocoup, who runs Greatest American Hero Facebook page. And I'm on the page once in a while. I don't go on too often, but there's information that tells a little bit what I'm doing. I did 4 films last year. I have a film called The Unwanted coming out, a film called Subterranean coming out. I recently did a film called Sparks, which is out in, you can find on DVDs, Amazon or DOV, you know, download it. So I have some things coming out. You can find any of those things.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for the time. We appreciate it.
I really had
didn't even know you were a Hawkman.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Hawkman, too.
Oh, man.
I know. Dude,
You're just all over the 80s.
I have
You're
more
my 80s.
street cred now.
Jeez.
I know.
So thank you for the time.
Do you have more respect for me now?
I had tons of respect to you even before that for Greatest American Hero.
Okay.
I got to tell
you. Bye.
Thank you very much.